And one of the things that I just read in the news today, as we're about to head into sort of like the peak of summer, as school gets out and families begin to sort of plan for the summer months. In some cases, they might be doing things in their local community, might not want to travel, given increase in gas prices, and all of that. But one of the things that sort of crossed my news feed today is I learned today that the federal government program that was instituted at the beginning of COVID that provides school meals to kids, regardless of their family's income, that program is coming to an end the end of the month. And of course, the program was meant to be temporary. It was meant to provide relief during COVID and all of that. But I can't just help but think about, if it was meant to be temporary, then, at some point it has to come to an end, right? Unless we make it permanent. But the issue that we deal with now with high gas prices, inflation, supply chain issues, labor shortages, there's so many facets of economic issues that we are currently dealing with, that the country is currently dealing with, that uh, families will now have to budget uh, a little bit more for their grocery bills and for putting the meals on the table for their kids, because they will no longer be able to use this program starting this summer. Combine that with the fact that obviously we are um, summer will be over soon, right? I mean, no one wants to think about that because we're just getting started with summer, and the Fourth of July weekend isn't even here. But as summer comes to a close, in the next 7-8 weeks, as kids begin to go back to school, there's a slew of other programs that were part of the same legislation that are also going to be coming to an end. And so schools will need access to more funding to be able to provide meals for kids during the school year as well. So I can't imagine but think of all the issues that we're going to start dealing with relative to food insecurity. And that conversation that you and I just had about strawberries, right? I mean, it's a fun conversation to have, whether you and I would go to the UK to pick strawberries and harvest strawberries, but what that leads to obviously is, if there's not enough people to harvest those strawberries, then what happens? Food waste, right? And so at one level you have issues of food insecurity, given high gas prices, inflation, and everything else. But on the flip side, you could potentially have food waste. Um, and yeah, so I don't know how we solve that problem. I know uh, food insecurity is a community problem. Communities individually tend to work to solve those. And at least in local communities where uh, I frequent, Hoboken, as well as upstate New York, I see a lot of community partners that are stepping up to help with that. But I feel like maybe uh, county governments, state governments, federal governments, and internationally, what can we do to sort of help uh, help with the issue as well?